So what are we up to today? Working on the semi? No. I ran out of time today. I had other things going on, but I've got a new motivation for the semi now. I was getting kind of bored and discouraged because it's just been sitting here and it needs money and time thrown at it. And now that I have a little bit of money, I don't have the time. But coming back from that semi-drag race, it gave me some motivation to work on it. You guys probably could figure out why. I mean, I have a semi. I just watched semi-drags. Now I want to go drag it. I mean, who wouldn't want to go drag a semi? So I want to get it put back together. There is a truck pull that I do want to try to make it to this year. Down in Findlay, Ohio, they have a stock off-the-street class. I wanted to do it last year, but the transmission was out of it, and I couldn't make it. There is a truck show coming up in June 16th and the 17th, I believe, down in Ashland, Ohio, the Vintage Truck Jamboree or something like that. I had Betty at it last year. There's a video. I wanted to take this truck, but I don't think I'll make it this year. I got to get a clutch and the flywheel done. That's coming down the pipe. This week I want to get cleaned up around it and get the airlines back on it. I got to get another airline made. But we're not going to be working on that today. This is going to be a couple part video. It's going to take place over a couple days. But what I wanted to do today is go over that catalog right there. Now, for any of you that watch Jay Paydirt, you know exactly who Pittsburgh Power is. At that drag race I was at, Pittsburgh Power was there, and I grabbed a catalog from him. Ever since I watched the one video on Jay Paydirt about the torque dampener and balancer, I've been wanting to get one for that truck. For those of you that don't know, your car has a harmonic balancer. I don't know if it goes for all diesel engines or just semis or what. They have a torque dampener or a torsional something, another dampener. But it's basically the harmonic balancer. And it is down right there. And they're only good for so many 100, 1,000 a mile. And according to the Pittsburgh Power brochure, they're only, from the ones in the 80s were only good for 300,000, and I'm at 207,000. This truck's a 73. So it's still got 100,000 in it, but this truck's old. So, and it's probably got a lot more hours on it running than it does miles. So I want to change it. Now you're saying, what could go bad to change it? They're silicone filled, and the silicone gets hard after a while and doesn't balance right. So what the Pittsburgh Power one is, it's a mass in there that's Teflon coated, and you're supposed to change them. The newer ones every 500,000, and the older ones are 300,000. So I want to get a new torque dampener and the balancer for it, the mercury filled balancer. I want to do that. But anyways, we're going to go through this catalog, Pittsburgh Power 2018 catalog. Now you can go to their website right there, pittsburghpower.com, or follow them on all them. I want to follow them on Instagram. So, but you got your glossary, a little bit about them. They're in Pennsylvania. They're in Saxonburg, Pennsylvania. But they got just a little bit about them, some engineering stuff that they do. Then they got a new thing out called the Dorothy. It's an EGR cleaner, a Tornadic EGR cleaner. Takes the soot out. But they have stuff for Cummins, Detroit, and Caterpillar. They're a Cummins dealer. So this is for like the newer Cummins engines. And then they got the big cam, which is somewhat similar to mine. They build big cams up to 700 and 800 horsepower. And there's the Detroit. Now they rebuild engines. They said in here that their engines, the rebuilt engines, are rated at 100 to 150 horsepower more than a stock engine. And if you maintain the engine, will run for well over 1 million miles. And you get another mile per gallon of fuel savings. That was in there for the Cummins. I don't know if it's the same for the Detroits and all that, but then they get into the stuff that they sell. Turbochargers, insulation wrap for the turbo, and then exhaust wrap. Now they say that by insulating the turbo, you keep more heat in, which makes more boost. And boost is always a good thing. And maybe one day down the road we'll put, I want to do a switchblade turbo kind of like Jay Paydirt did. I think that's pretty slick. But they got the manifold like he got. They got a manifold for the N14, which is built just about like that. The torque dampener and the balancer are actually the same for them too, so I'm assuming the manifold should be about the same. And you can gain up to 35 horsepower with a machined intake. Mufflers, nobody needs mufflers, those are overrated. Then they have a power box programmer deal. I don't need to look at any of that because I have a mechanical engine. Gauges, if we start doing some stuff to the truck, we'll get some gauges. Here in a minute I'll talk about some stuff, other stuff that I want to do to the truck. They got a fast diesel fuel system, takes the air out. Maybe in the future. That gains 5 to 10% horsepower. Here's what I'm after though. The dampener and the balancer. The balancer is a mercury filled tube that helps balance out the crankshaft. Basically, it's the same thing as the ones you put on your tires. These are made by Balance Masters, I believe. My uncle, they're called Systematics, I believe, the brand he's got for his wheels on his truck. And then here's the dampener. And here's they talk about changing them. Now, they say that a mechanic will tell you it's not a wear part that you don't need to change it. But he'll also charge you 25 grand to rebuild your engine with a new crankshaft. So, and this is supposed to take out any wobble in the crankshaft, stuff like that. And this takes out any that this doesn't get. And it says right here, it's a rotating mass ring. It's Teflon coated, where the OEM style is silicone. And silicone gets hard, and then it doesn't work. But that's the one we're going to need right there, Cummins NTC. And they share the same bolt pattern. I don't know why they have it listed twice over here, but they got it once over there. Then they have air filters, oil purification. Now this oil trap right here is for blow-by. Every internal combustion engine has blow-by. The higher horsepower, the more comes out the breathe tube. So that helps collect it so you don't get it all over the bottom of your truck. They got a filter mag. Magnet goes around the filter, collects any smaller particles of metal. A spinner, that spins your oil at 6,000 RPMs, over 6,000 RPMs, and takes out contaminants and soot down to 1/10 of a micron. Then they got the Eco Pure, takes out stuff down to 1 micron. They do stuff in cooling. Now their radiators for the 379 Pete. A stock radiator has, oh wait, that's for a Cat. A Cat 550 horsepower engine. Or no, wait, hold on. The Pete with the 12.7D chart will have 177 coolant tubes in the radiator. The Cat 550 will have 234, which are straight through. Now you want dimples in them, so they got one. For the 379 Pete, they have one that has 400 dimpled tubes. That's twice the amount, over twice the amount. and they have 71% more tubes in the 550 cat engine radiator. The stock radiators have 14 fins per inch. Theirs has 16 fins per inch. So they have a better cooling system. They do a engine flush service. I was looking at these Lipe clutches. They're stock replacement, but they hold up to 300 foot-pounds of torque without modification, and you can get them up to 4,000 foot-pounds of torque. They engage smoothly. Works with your factory flywheel and input shaft, but they will not work with my flywheel because mine's the dished out flywheel. They also do alignments. But here's the prices for everything, which I thought was convenient, and it even tells you the labor that it's going to take you to do it. So, and I didn't think their stuff was really all that expensive compared to like what pickup truck stuff is. I mean, you're looking $2,500 for a turbo for a Caterpillar, $2,600 for a Cummins. Then they got the blankets and stuff. The dampener for the NTC is $546, and then the balancer for the Cummins is $225. So their Dorothy system, if you guys are wondering, that new EGR cleaner thing, $1,275. The oil stuff, that spinner that does the 6,000 RPMs, that's $1,000. So the clutches, they're just the price of a stock regular clutch, from what I've been told. Because the one clutch I was looking at was going to be $700. That's $725. The clutch I'm thinking about getting for this semi is a Kevlar clutch from Kentucky Clutch. I talked to them at the farm show. So, but upgrades that I want to do would be that torque dampener and balancer, the Kevlar clutch, and I haven't checked this engine out completely yet, and I can actually do it right now. But I watched a video, guy had a military truck with a Cummins in it, and this might already be done to this truck. But on the back of the head where your fuel goes in, there's them ports. And what he did to his truck was only feeding fuel to the front. And this one might only feed to the front too. But he rigged it up to where it would feed to the front and back, gave him a little bit of a boost because he was getting more fuel. It was feeding, instead of one side feeding the whole engine, he had each side feeding half of the engine. So those are upgrades I want to do right now, and then eventually get into some more upgrades, because I do want to kind of build this truck. It's kind of a fun truck. Have a little fun with, you know, roll a little coal when I get the nice stack on there, pull a sled with it, and I do want to drag it one time. It's on my bucket list. You may think I'm crazy, but it's going to happen. So anyways, that's the conclusion of today's portion of the video, and tomorrow hopefully I'll come out here and get some airlines put on it. So thanks for watching.